Thank you for that carrier update. It's time for our Thursday Communities Update. So we've got Thomas Wasson joining us for Loaded and Rolling. Bill, on Mondays, we play Heads or Tails. So on Thursdays with Thomas Wasson, today we're going to play Half Full or Half Empty.
Good idea.
Talking about where the glass is for you, Thomas. When we're talking about positives versus negatives, optimism versus pessimism, where is your glass half full in the trucking industry? Where is your glass half empty? And where is your glass holding diesel right now?
Oh, very, very good question. I think that it goes from it's so over to we're so back is the new glass half full and half empty. So we're definitely in a situation, at least I feel like, where we're starting to feel like it's looking more half full right now. It's been half empty for a few months. You know, I've kind of come to emotionally accept that as a carrier. And then now it's like, well, it can't get any worse. So now we're in the half full category. That's what we're also seeing from executives. The Morgan Stanley report of shippers said that we're still kind of in this weird limbo state, but there are positives. So, get a little good spin. And then at a large transportation conference end of September, Crete Carrier executive also had talked about, well, it has been challenging, but our tender lead times are getting better, which, by the way, theirs is at 5 days, while FreightWaves is currently showing nationwide around like 3.2-ish.
So it's interesting to put the glass half full, half empty kind of thing on here. Let's go into, first off, the Morgan Stanley report and just delve into a little bit deeper level here. Obviously, still a lot of nebulous information out there, not really sure about where things are going, but at the same time, maybe this is getting better?
We'll pull up the chart here and see. One thing I like about two monitors on these shows. So Todd Main had a great article talking about that. Their overall view of the economy was a 4.9. It's a scale of 1 to 10. The highest we've seen is 7.7. The lowest is 4.2. So we're still feeling a little bit down, is one of the key takeaways. The second issue is, despite the mixed messaging, here's the quotable. So I got to read this on the side. Actually, let's drag it over. Here we go. Watch this. Boom. TV magic. All right. Despite the mixed messaging, it is clear shippers are continuing to hit the weight. They're waiting to hit the restock, but they haven't decided to restock yet. This is the big question. They're also waiting to see what the consumers are doing, because the strategy right now is there's so much trucking capacity. I can kind of get away with not having to immediately plan ahead because I can just get a truck when I need it. So a lot of what we're seeing right now is this weird feeling because how inventories have been for so long, you don't want to get fooled again like the Who used to see.
So, Thomas, a lot of on that consumer side of things, the consumers were waiting for the other shoe to drop when it came from what they were paying out and what they were capable of buying. That other shoe was student loan payments. And as of the first of this month, student loan payments are back in effect. And of course, many consumers won't feel the full brunt of that until probably 2 to 3 months down the line. That's right in Christmas shopping season. That's right in peak shopping season. That's right at the point where you might take a look at your bank account and go, oh my God, this is way lower than I thought it was. Yes, I made a $400 payment every month starting about 2.5 months ago. Is that something that we are now continuing to see as maybe this kind of gremlin lurking over the shoulder? Is that there's still this false sense of security that a lot of folks aren't necessarily certain of how much they're going to need from an inventory restocking level because they're not sure what people are going to be willing to buy still?
That's a great point. People will say that it's priced in. I don't think we can price it in. We know that behaviorally consumers are going to spend less. I'll give me for an example. I have an MBA for my master's. I'm going to be paying $750 this month on a 10-year note. The question's going to be, are people going to be like me and go after the 10-year note and go for the higher payments? Or are we going to see data showing that they're going to go for the 20 or 30-year payments, where it brings down a $750 payment for me, goes down to like $250 to $300, depending upon how you do it. Now, that also creates a longer-term problem because depending upon how these payments are structured, I just had to pay attention to this to realize how screwed I am. Your payments will actually go up. So if I took the longer option, but midway through, by the 15-year mark, I'll actually be paying closer to like $1,000 a month as it ends the tail end, even $1,200. So there's stair-stepping plans that then create a ticking time bomb. So this is a problem that for consumption patterns will be an issue because a lot of these people who are going to your Targets, your Walmarts, your retailers, we're going to obviously have our core groceries and stuff covered. You need to eat. But this spending, especially in durable goods, it's going to be interesting. New data coming out on CPI, new data on joblessness claims and everything else. We are still a little bit hotter than expected. So this does make it very interesting. Now, my gut feeling says we will still obviously see a seasonal bump. It will look similar to 18 or 19 levels because consumers will spend for the holidays. This is a given. But given that there's too much trucking capacity, the freight market is not going to feel a bump. It's going to be like that Charles Dickens novel. What's the one with the Christmas one? And then the kids are starving. Well, those are the carriers. We're going to be Tiny Tim.
So moving back towards not so much the end of the carrier aspect as well, obviously outbound tender rejection index still below 5 at this particular point. You're not happy with that until it moves at least to 7, correct?
I like to see 5 to 7. We need fungibility. 5 to 7. Think of your average tender compliance at 95%, so you don't get yelled at. In this environment, we are seeing heightened ones. Ford Louisville, yesterday UAW just decided to shut down the Louisville plant. Ford Kentucky Assembly, 8,500 union members now are not going to be working at that location. We are seeing shocks to the system, which could typically indicate higher tender ejections, but also we are still seeing elevated reefer because it is the end of the potato season, and we're seeing the final stretches as we move into winter in North America. So a lot of things going on, but we are seeing upticks. Right now, it does look like an increase in volatility on tender ejection rates. We will obviously want to look at other data points like spot market rates, contracted rates, and capacity through net revocations to see if this is a smoke signal or a pump fake.
It's going to be interesting to watch for sure. Are carriers going to feel like Oklahoma, we're so back, or are they going to be like Texas, whoa, we're not in a great place anymore? Thomas, thank you for joining us this morning. Of course, we'll catch you for Loaded and Rolling on Tuesday afternoons, and we'll talk to you soon.
Don't worry, she's not bitter at all. We'll take a short break and we'll come back in just a little bit.